common sense, but if I look at the reflexive property, what word do I kind of see in reflexive?
Flex.
Nope, but nice try. Someone said that third block. What other word? Reflection. Sure. So I think of the word reflection. So if I think of the word reflection, I see reflexive and I think reflection. Now if I think of reflection, what do you think of? A mirror. If I look in a mirror, what do I see? Myself. So reflexive property says that a value always equals itself, which kind of seems like common sense. Itself. So reflexive, if I look in a mirror, I will see back myself. So if I think of reflexive, a value will always equal itself. So A is always equal to A. A just represents a number. Any number is equal to itself. Think about looking in the mirror and seeing back yourself. What, myself? You calling me ugly? That's rude. That's okay. I don't really care. Yeah, well, whatever. It works. So if I look at another one, let's say with a number, 16 is equal to 16. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. There will be hard stuff in algebra. I don't think this is one of them. I think you guys can all do this. If I have something like 4y squared, if I have an expression 4y squared, that is the same thing as 4y squared. So something is equal to itself. Reflection, I see back itself. Reflexive property. If I think of symmetric property, please let me know if I'm going too fast. I'm trying to gauge. It's hard for me to gauge sometimes. Symmetric property, what word do you see in symmetric? Symmetry. Now, if you think back to elementary math, symmetry, what was symmetry?
Like everything equal.
Kind of.
Everything was the same on both sides.
Same on both sides. So, if I had, I always think of like the butterfly example for some reason, but if I had like a star or something, and I drew a line of symmetry, which means I split it like I draw a line down the middle. You've all done this before in like elementary school. If it has symmetry, the left side and the right side are the same. I can flip the left and right side and they are the same. So symmetry property says that if A equals B, then B equals A. I can flip the left and right side and they are the same. That is the symmetry property. So think about taking it, splitting it, and you can flip the left and right side and they are the same. If A equals B, then B equals A. So, example, if x equals 3, then symmetry property will tell me what? 3 equals x. You guys can get this. So symmetry, split it, and flip it. It's the same thing. Another example. If 5x equals 30, symmetry property tells me what? 30 equals 5x. You can flip it. It is the same thing. Okay, one last one. We're not doing closure. If I look at transitive, this one's a little harder to think about. Transitive, I think of the word transition. Transition, anybody kind of know what that means? Do what? Yeah, like a smooth transition, which means like I'm kind of moving along. Like you transition from like class to class throughout the day. So transition means you're kind of moving from one thing to another. So the transitive property says if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. So the transitive property, I think of transition. I'm moving along. So A equals B, and then I move from B equals C, and then I know A equals C. If two things equal the same thing, then those things are equal. So A is the same as B is the same as C, then I know that A and C are the same. If two things equal the same thing, then those two things are the same. Okay. So let's look at an example. If 4 plus 3 equals 7. Can we agree that 4 plus 3 equals 7? Yes. If we can't, then we may have issue the rest of the semester. But 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. We're good with that. And if 7 is equal to the square root of 49. So something equals 7, and then 7 equals something else. Then transitive property tells me what? If two things equal the same thing, 4 plus 3 is 7, and the square root of 49 is 7, then what do I know about those two things? Nope. No. No. Look at it. If something equals 7, and then something else equals 7, what do I know about those two things? Huh? Look. A equals B, and B equals C, then A equals C.
So 4 plus 3 equals 49.
4 plus 3 equals the square root of 49. Good. If two things equal the same thing, then those things are equal. 4 plus 3 equals 7. Square root of 49 equals 7. They both equal 7, so those two things are equal. 4 plus 3 is equal to the square root of 49. So if two things are equal to the same thing, then those two things are equal. Any questions on that? Okay, that is the end of the notes for this section. We're not doing the closure property. So get your homework back.